Welcome back to Apex Sci-Fi. We live in an age of automation. We have cars that drive themselves, drones that fly themselves, and algorithms that predict what we want for dinner before we even get hungry. In the future, warfare is no different. Targeting computers calculate firing solutions in microseconds. AI pilots fly ships with mathematical perfection. But there is a flaw in perfection. If you rely on a machine to do everything for you, what happens when someone pulls the plug? Today's story takes place in the Kyrellian Void, where a technologically superior alien fleet unleashes the ultimate weapon, the silence pulse. It turns off every computer in the sector. They thought it would leave humanity helpless. They forgot that long before we had microchips we had gunpowder, gears and guts. If you trust your own eyes more than a GPS, smash that like button. And if you want to see what happens when autopilot is replaced by angry pilot, subscribe and turn on notifications. Systems failing in 3, 2, 1. The Kyrellian battlecruiser calculated perfection sat in the void, a predator made of white ceramic and blue light. High Commander Zex stood at the tactical display. The battle was going exactly according to the simulation. The human fleet, a collection of blocky primitive destroyers, was firing missiles. Zex didn't even blink. Intercept, he ordered softly. The Kyrellian AI, the Oversoul, reacted instantly. Point defense lasers intercepted every human missile with 100% accuracy. The math was flawless. The humans could not hit them. Their firing patterns are crude, Zex noted, watching the telemetry. They rely on saturation. They waste energy. It is time to end this farce. Prepare the silence pulse. The silence pulse was the pride of the Kyrellian Empire. It was not an explosive. It was a high-frequency logic virus transmitted via a subspace shockwave. It didn't destroy metal, it destroyed code. It fried processors, erased operating systems, and turned advanced warships into floating coffins. Firing pulse, the weapons officer intoned. A wave of invisible distortion rippled out from the calculated perfection. It hit the human destroyer, the UNS Bulldog, broadside. The effect was instant. On the bridge of the Bulldog, the lights died. The holographic tactical map flickered and vanished. The hum of the gravity stabilizers cut out, leaving the crew momentarily weightless before the backup magnetic plating kicked in. Every screen went black. Every targeting computer crashed. The AI, Valkyrie, gave a dying screech over the speakers and then, silence. On the Kyrellian bridge, Zex smiled. Target neutralized, he stated. Their central nervous system is gone. They are blind. They are deaf. They are drifting. Move in for the kill. Dissect the hull with surgical lasers. The Kyrellian ship glided forward. It didn't rush. There was no need. The enemy was paralyzed. Zex watched the human ship. It was dark. No engine glow. No weapon signatures. Illogical, Zex murmured. Why do they not eject? Do they prefer to suffocate in the dark? Inside the UNS Bulldog it was indeed dark. But it was not quiet. Captain Old Man Miller spat his cigar onto the deck plating. The emergency lights bathed the bridge in a bloody, dim red glow. Report. Miller bellowed. Mainframe is fried, sir, the ops officer yelled, pulling a useless headset off his ears. Sensors are dead. Radar is dead. Auto-targeting is dead. We are a brick, sir. Miller grinned. It was a terrifying sight in the red light. Good, Miller said. I hate that talking computer anyway. She never let me drift the ship. Miller walked to the center of the bridge. He kicked a panel on the floor. Auxiliary hydraulics, he shouted. Manual override. Break the glass. The crew hesitated for only a second. Then, training, the kind of old-school training the Admiralty tried to ban, kicked in. The helmsman smashed a glass case labeled Emergency Manual Control. Inside was not a touchscreen. It was a wheel. A heavy, iron yoke connected to a chain drive system that ran the length of the ship. Engage the chain. Miller ordered. 2 sailors grabbed the wheel. It took physical strength to turn it. The hydraulic pumps groaned, bypassing the digital regulators. Clunk. Hiss. The ship vibrated. The maneuvering thrusters fired. Not with the smooth precision of an AI, but with the raw, spitting fury of a chemical burn. Weapons. Miller turned to the tactical station. Sir, the targeting scanners are offline. I can't get a lock. I don't need a lock. Miller roared. I need you to open the blast shutters. Sir? Open the windows, son. We're gonna do this the old-fashioned way. We're gonna look at them. The heavy blast shields retracted from the bridge viewport. Starlight flooded in. And there, hanging in the void only 5 kilometers away, was the calculated perfection. It was bright. It was glowing. It was the easiest target Miller had ever seen. Gunner. Miller keyed the hardline intercom, a copper wire system that didn't need a CPU. Can you hear me? Deep in the bowels of the ship, inside the main railgun turret, Gunnery Sergeant Stone put on a pair of analog headphones. I hear you, Cap. Stone, your computer is dead. Switch the turret to manual crank. Way ahead of you, Cap. I got the boys on the gears. Good. You see that big glowing flashlight off the port bow? I see it, sir. It's really bright. Put a round through it. On the Kyrellian ship, Commander Zex frowned. Sensor anomaly, the ops officer said. The human ship. It is rotating. Drifting? Zex asked. No, Commander. It is yawing. But the movement is erratic. It is not following a smooth vector. It is jerky. Microcorrections. It defies the prediction algorithms. The AI, the Oversoul, began to flash warnings. Error. Target movement illogical. Cannot predict trajectory. The Bulldog was moving like a drunk brawler. It dipped, it swerved. It wasn't efficient. It was wasting fuel. But because it wasn't efficient, the Kyrellian computer couldn't predict where it would be in 10 seconds. The computer assumed the pilot would take the optimal path. Miller was taking the worst path possible just to be difficult. Why are they turning towards us? Zex asked, a seed of doubt planting itself in his gut. They have no targeting locks. We are detecting no LiDAR painting. They cannot see us. Sir, the ops officer said. They are opening their gun ports. They are going to fire blindly into space? Zex laughed. Desperation. Let them waste their ammo. Maintain position. Inside the Bulldog, Sergeant Stone was sweating. He sat in the gunner's chair. In front of him was a periscope, a series of mirrors and lenses. No digital overlay. No red box telling him where to shoot. Just a crosshair etched into the glass with a laser. He cranked the elevation wheel. Kriwak. The massive railgun barrel shifted up. Left. 2 degrees left, his loader yelled, looking out a porthole. Stone spun the traverse wheel. Steady? Stone whispered. He watched the white ship fill his scope. He didn't need to calculate the delta V. He didn't need to account for Coriolis effect. He used Kentucky windage. He felt the shot. Eyeballing it, Stone grunted. Fire. Miller ordered from the bridge. Stone slammed his foot on the mechanical firing pedal. Tum. The railgun fired. Not a laser. A 20-kilo slug of ferric tungsten. It didn't emit a signal. It didn't have a guidance chip. It was just a dumb, fast rock. The Kyrellian AI didn't react. What? Because the AI was programmed to intercept threats. To the AI, a threat was something that had a targeting lock. This projectile had no lock. It registered as space debris. Until it was too late. Crack. The slug impacted the calculated perfection dead center. It smashed through the ceramic hull. It shattered the bridge window. It tore through the command deck, turning the pristine white room into a vacuum-sucked nightmare of debris. Commander Zex didn't even have time to look surprised before he was pulled out into the cold dark. The Kyrellian ship panicked. Without a commander, the Oversoul tried to return fire. But the Bulldog wasn't where it was supposed to be. Miller had slammed the thrusters into reverse, drifting underneath the alien vessel. Reload. Miller screamed. Reloading. Give me a broadside. Everything you got. Cannons, PDCs, throw the kitchen sink at him. The Bulldog unleashed hell. It wasn't precise. It was messy. Hundreds of rounds flew wide into deep space. But at point-blank range, you don't need to be a sniper. You just need to be a shotgun. Dozens of rounds slammed into the alien engines. The delicate antimatter containment fields, held in place by precise calculations, failed. The alien ship didn't just explode, it unraveled. A bloom of blue fire consumed it. Silence returned to the bridge of the Bulldog. Miller lit a new cigar. The flame of his lighter was the brightest thing in the room. Damage report, he said calmly. Hydraulics are leaking, sir. My arms feel like jelly, the helmsman panted. And I think I broke the wheel. But are we alive? Yes, sir. Then it's a good day. The Kyrellian Empire eventually learned their lesson. They stopped using the silence pulse against humans. They realized that blinding a human doesn't stop them from fighting. It just makes them angry. And they learned that while a computer can make 1,000,000 calculations a second, it can't calculate the sheer, stubborn will of a human being pulling a lever with his bare hands. We call it the human factor. The aliens call it chaos. And in a war between order and chaos, chaos shoots first. This has been apex sci-fi. We rely on technology until it fails. Then we rely on muscle. If you know how to drive a stick shift in a world of self-driving cars, you are ready for the alien invasion. Smash that like button. Comment below, could you aim a cannon without a computer? Subscribe for more stories about humanity breaking the rules of warfare. Manual override disengaged.